rehabilitation has been taking place along major roadways in Barbados. For instance, there was work done to a portion of the ABC Highway, and reconstruction is ongoing along the East Coast Road in St. Andrew. Motorists have experienced traffic delays, diversions, and road closures as a result. Despite the inconvenience, the objective is to upgrade the road network in Barbados. In this episode of Transport and Works in Motion, we'll examine the progress of 2 road projects. 1, the Scotland District Road Rehabilitation Program, and 2, the Road Rehabilitation and Improving Connectivity of Road Infrastructure Project, which is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank. Recently, a team from the IDB visited Barbados and met with officials from the Ministry of Transport, Works and Water Resources. They toured the 9 work sites under the program, and project manager Dave Scanterbury gave a report.
On Lot 1, as the ABC Highway, lanes towards the east, the paving is being done. The ministry has done the road marking as well. It looks quite nice.
Many citizens queried the need to rehabilitate the ABC Highway between the Clyde Walken and Norman Knowles roundabouts. Project manager Dave Scanterbury explains the rationale for selecting this stretch of road.
The pavement had potholes which are dangerous, especially if you're moving at 80 kilometers an hour. You're getting the top layer of the asphalt raveling off. We also found that there were a few areas where the sub-base itself, the marl underneath, was pumping up. And therefore the water was getting in and weakening the base. And therefore we recognized we had to deal with it right away.
Extensive work has been done at Lot 2, which is Carmichael Road. Utility companies have been upgrading their facilities at the site, and C.O. Williams has finished paving. Drainage features are still under construction, so the road is not yet open to motorists.
There are 3 wells on this road. 1 is already cased, that's to the north of the position that we are at now, and 2 in the south. Those are still open, and therefore we need to put the concrete casing around those wells, and that will be done within a month or so. Carmichael Road had to be lifted substantially. The whole of the St. George Valley area is saturated with water, and therefore to actually get the work done we had to create a novel approach, which is a cement stabilized subgrade. So what we did is we had to mix cement with the marl as we were rolling it, and that allowed us to actually get out of the wet area.
The cement stabilizer innovation that Dave spoke about was also implemented on other roads under the project. Beston consultant engineer Malik Daniel explains the purpose of this innovative approach.
The cement stabilizer is to help to speed things along, because during the conditions we were experiencing with the rain, a lot of the material or the sub-base material was saturated, and also the base material as well.
The cement stabilizer also helps to strengthen, stabilize, and extend the life of the sub-base. Lot 3 Hoddesdale from the Clyde Walken roundabout to Layers roundabout was finished in December 2022. Work, however, continues at Lot 4 from Long Bay to Belair Road in St. Philip. The carriageway has been paved at Lot 5. Engineer Eli Ben updated us on the progress at this site, commonly known as Ballpark Road.
We started in the summer of last year milling the surface off the road. Then we did another pass with the miller about 10 inches down. What we discovered at that stage was that there was quite a bit of mud underneath the roadway, and we ultimately decided that we wanted to excavate about 2 feet for large stretches of the highway so that we can have a nice strong foundation for the road when the project is done.
Lot 6, all of the carriageways has been paved. However, the contractor Infra Inc. is currently working on the shoulder work as well as drainage. Lot 7 would be Layers. I would say that Layers is approximately 80% completed. Only the boulevard area, that is where the trees are near Kenwood, that's to be done. On Lot 8, the Bell, C.O. Williams Construction has done most of the drainage work.
There was a lot of ponding and flooding within the area. So with that being said, we came to the conclusion that we will have to introduce a number of stormwater wells and also repair a couple of curb and slippers and slipper drains.
Now the road that is behind, I would say, is Lot 9, and that would be the Army-Bourne Highway, or as we call it, the East Coast Road. Most of the area is excavated, and now they're bringing up the levels of the subgrade. They're using cement stabilized base to strengthen the area, given the large area Infra Inc. has to deal with and the resources on the job. I am very doubtful that it's going to finish by the end of March.
So, to recap, 2 roads have been finished, while another 5 under the project will be completed by March 31st, 2023. However, from Long Bay to Bel Air Road in St. Philip and the Army-Bourne Highway from Barclays Park to Belle Plaine St. Andrew will extend beyond the project's deadline. We will continue to keep you posted on the progress of these roads. Up next, my colleague Kathy Ann Savory will speak with the team working on the Scotland District Road Rehabilitation Project.
The Scotland District is known for its rustic beauty, lush foliage, robust coastline, and its clay soils. The uniqueness of its topography has posed a challenge for the construction and maintenance of roads and bridges over the years. Most of the bridges in the Scotland District were constructed in the 1930s and 40s, when there were significantly less vehicles in Barbados. In this episode of Transport and Works in Motion, we will speak to experts working with this project to learn more. With the collapse and closure of the road in White Hill, the shifting of the road in King Street and St. Simons, and several severely compromised and closed bridges, the Ministry of Transport, Works and Water Resources has begun the Scotland District Road and Bridge Rehabilitation Project. It is aimed at alleviating some of the problems that have affected the Scotland District for years.
There are a number of roads that are in dire need of repair, including a number of bridges, 2 of which, unfortunately, we were forced to close last year and year before. But this was because those bridges were in imminent danger of failure. And we felt as a responsible government that we had to close those bridges because we could not guarantee the structural integrity of those bridges, and we felt that it would pose a danger to the traveling public.
In November 2021, the government of Barbados entered an agreement for the rehabilitation of 224 kilometers or 140 miles of road, predominantly in the Scotland District being St. Andrew, St. Joseph, St. Thomas and St. John. There will be 3 components of this work: the mill and pave of the roads, rehabilitation, which involves reconstruction of some of these roads, and then also reconstruction with the bridges. So there are 3 components.
When this is over, we are expected to have better road connectivity, better drainage, and of course better roads for commuters. I've had mixed reviews as it relates to residents. There are a number of persons who would have expressed to me that they're happy to know that roads are being done in their communities. But of course, there are those persons who are skeptical about the work, and I suspect will only be convinced when they see heavy equipment rolling into their communities. But this is understandable. But the government is committed to rehabilitating the roads here in the Scotland District, so I can assure you that roads will be fixed.
Shorey Village Road was the first road to be completed under the Scotland District Road and Bridge Rehabilitation Project. Work under the project began in August 2022 and ended in December the same year. Residents shared their take on the construction process now that the work has been completed.
Well, the experience was okay. I would really say the dust on because I was at work, right? But everything was okay. But probably if we didn't have no rain, we had rain a couple of weeks ago. Probably if we didn't have the rain, probably it was done by then. You understand me? But the experience is okay. Nice to see we have a brand new road.
It wasn't that good nor bad, but it's a great improvement as far as I'm concerned. I am speaking about me. I was here from the time it began until now. And I would say to the entire Barbados, it's fantastic, the best road we got in Barbados. I am saying to you what I watched tourists, taxi drivers that they think to come to here is back on this road.
Accessibility to some communities has been a major challenge for residents of St Andrew and the wider Scotland district. White Hill is one such location where the road is a vital artery linking communities.
Currently, access to places like White Hill, for example, is restricted. So the reconstruction of these bridges would ease the commuters in those communities, because as it stands, persons have to travel miles to get into communities that before they would just drive for 2 minutes or maybe walk 5 minutes into. And White Hill is one good example of that, because if you look at the community of Hillaby at White Hill, you could just, persons would leave to go to church and it would take about 2 minutes, 3 minutes walk to get to church. Now those same persons have to drive right around Belle Plaine, up through Turner's Hall, into Greg's Farm to get to that same church. And that's about 20 to 25 minutes of drive. So this road construction project, especially as it relates to bridges, will certainly shorten the travel time for persons living in those communities that are right now cut off because of either land slippage in White Hill or because of the closure of the Thompson Bridge there in Bruceville.
Extensive testing is also being done in White Hill and on other roads to determine the structural integrity of the land beneath the road surface.
We've had some slip failures, which are because part of the road is in what's called the Mount All Formation, and part of it is in the Joes River Formation, and another part of it is in the Oceanics Formation. So there's variation in the soil, underlying soils, as you move along the road. The test we're conducting this morning is the dynamic cone penetrometer test. We're looking to establish the strength of the soil under the road. So basically the contractor will be dropping a hammer on a rod, and at the end of that rod there is a cone which is about 20 millimeters in diameter. For each drop, the cone should penetrate into the underlying soil. There's a direct relationship between the penetration of the cone into the underlying soil and the strength of that soil. And those results are then used to design the road. For a low CBR value, you would obviously need a thicker compacted layer, and that will determine the design of the road.
The Scotland District Road and Bridge Rehabilitation Project is funded by the Exim Bank of China. The China National Complete Plant Import and Export Corporation Limited, Complant, is responsible for executing the project on the ground with the use of local contractors. The Complant team meets weekly with the MTW officials to discuss designs and the work plan. The project will be executed over a 3-year period.
Complant has completed condition survey for more than 75 roads, plus 15 bridges. Completed topographic survey for more than 25 roads. Completed preliminary design for 6 roads, plus 1 bridge. Completed detailed design for 2 roads. That's Rough Road number 2 and Shore Village. And completed construction for Shore Village Road. The overall is the shape of the Scotland district is a half bowl. The landform inside the bowl is active, and it has a complicated ringed structure. As a result of the interaction between the faults and the surface erosion, this area is prone to landslide. Matching solutions such as more curbers, gubbins, and other retaining structures, more draining system, deep excavation and backfill with better and solid material are being considered and used to address Scotland district because of the special geology situation.
Thanks for watching Transport Works in Motion. We will continue to keep you informed on the progress of work being done by and on behalf of the Ministry of Transport Works and Water Resources. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at MTW Barbados.